And this is something you just don't get with Segway. Hello everyone, as you might know, we just announced the Apollo Go, our new entry-level premium scooter. And a lot of question that we get is how does it compare to the Segway Max? This one that we have here is the Segway G2. It's the evolution of the Max. The Max has been selling on Amazon for a while now, and they just updated it to add suspension. I know, suspension in 2024. It took a while, but they got there. So we thought it would be interesting to show you a side-by-side comparison about the style, but also what we like about this scooter that we don't necessarily have on our scooter, and vice versa. So let's jump right into it. So if we look at spec for spec, it's pretty similar on the battery level. Here we have a 36-volt 15Ah battery. We have the same thing on the Go. The only difference is that we use 21700 batteries, and we're pretty open about it because they're so good. It's 36-volt 15Ah, 540 watt-hour each. So in theory, if you have the same voltage, you should have the same top speed, but the reality is very different. So for this one, the top speed is about 35 kilometers per hour, while for this one, we're looking at 45 kilometers per hour. So you might be wondering, how is that even possible if they both have the same battery? Well, it's because we have a second motor. That's right. On this one, it's dual 350 watt motor compared to the Segway that is a single 450 watt motors. So the dual motor is going to help you climb hills more easily. Also, if you are a heavier rider, that's just straight up better. So now that we covered the motors and the battery, the other important part in the ride quality is the tire and the suspension. On the Segway, we have 10-inch tires with self-healing tires, which is lovely. That's what we have on all our models now. On the Apollo Go, it's 9-inch self-healing tires. So a bit smaller, but we have the suspension to compensate for that. And if we look in terms of suspension, the Segway offer a triple hydraulic suspension or hydraulic dampening. To be honest, feels very comfortable. It's lovely. I never saw a hydraulic suspension with the direction tube like they did as one assembly. Time will tell if it's gonna last. For us, we have a rear rubber suspension with spring embedded in them. And we have a front spring suspension as well. So this is complete spring and rubber. So while the Segway feels a bit better when you jump on it, you can see that the suspension is more exposed and not gonna last as long as the Apollo Go, which you cannot even see it from outside. Here you have the exposed hydraulic shock on both sides of the wheel, while this one is completely enclosed inside the body. If we look in terms of controllers, I think this is where the Apollo shine. This one is obviously a single motor, and you have all the classic feature, the basic display. You can connect to the app. There's turning signals that are quite cool, and it's a single about 20 amp controller, 22 amp controller. If we look at the Apollo Go, you have a dual 350 watt motor, and the peak of those motors is 750 watt. So the peak is very high, and the discharge that we're able to handle with our special controllers is just a lot higher than this one. And we have different output that allows us to put crazy light, well, in the front like this, or even turning signal on the rear of the body, and the handlebar, which just looks straight up better if you compare both of them. So the controller is definitely more advanced on the Apollo. One of the most important components that is part of your interaction with the scooter are the throttles and the display. On the Segway, you have the basic throttle that was the same on the Xiaomi M365 back in 2016. It's the exact same. And the display is the same one as the previous Max, which does the job, but for reflection with the sun, it's not ideal. It's just an old technology. If we look at the Apollo Go, well, you have our new throttle, which are fantastic. You have built-in button, which allow us to free the cockpit from any button. So you have a super smooth finish, and the display is a dot display. Again, we went with dot display, which is individual little LEDs, because this is what is being used in traffic lights, and it's the best to fight sun reflection. This is the best display we released by far, and in my opinion, one of the best on the market. We mentioned the app briefly before, but I think it's worth talking about it. For the Segway, you need to buy a phone holder and then put it on the handlebar, connect to the app, and the app is okay. It's not too buggy, but the interface is not that great. You don't have a dashboard like you have with the Apollo, and it's more to complement your ride than enhancing it like we do with Apollo. So this one, you're gonna have your phone sticking out here. For 2024, I feel that's a little bit outdated, but for the Go, It's even better. You don't even need to install it. It's built in the headset. So you're going to be able to just take a quad lock phone case or the sticker that's coming in the box with the Go, and you put it on your original case, or you swap your case for the quad lock one, and you're going to be able to clip it on the handlebar, which is going to be centered, which is lovely when you ride with your phone there. And the amount of things you're able to record with the Apollo Go is 10 times what you're able to record with the Segway. We have a health dashboard in our backend, and if you ever have any problem with your scooter, we can go see the ride that you recorded, just the ride that you record, and see all the behaviors of the sensors, making a diagnostic about what's happening with your scooter if something ever happened. It's a lot easier because it's being supported by our software. So we talked about the self-healing tires, the suspension, but what about the visibility? How is one safer than the other? If it is. In my opinion, the Go is a bit safer because you have turning signal at the back of the scooter, which is just great when you have cars behind you, which is always the case. But you also have it on the handlebar here, just like the Segway. So you have a bit more visibility with turning signals. And on top of that, well, you have the obvious LED light that is so bright compared to the Segway that you don't have anything. You have a reflector here that is ugly, it's sticking out, and you have a headlight that the headlight is quite good. It's quite bright on this one, but the Go has the same thing. You have the headlight there that they are both the same lumen. So in terms of safety, I would lean a bit more towards the Apollo Go. And then safety-wise, well, you have the folding mechanism. This is the one that is present on all our new models. And the Segway one is great as well. We saw a couple failure, but in the history of Segway, this is a pretty reliable scooter as well. You know, we buy every scooter that we judge are good competition, and we put it on our rig in China to destroy them. We have a monster rig that we're gonna shake the shit out of the scooter. Can you believe that? We have a testing standard procedure, and we're gonna test like this one's gonna last X amount of kilometers and repetition of shaking the stem, and we're gonna do the same thing with our scooters, and this is how we see and know that we're better than the competition. We mentioned the dual motor, and there's a great things that comes with dual motor and a great controller is our power RBS, the region brake that we have on all our scooters now that is standard. This allows you basically to never touch the drum brake, while Segway, it's just a regular handbrake. So this one, the brake on this one's gonna last you probably the lifetime of the scooter, while the Segway, this is the only way to brake, so you always have to use your mechanical brake to brake. It makes a world of a difference in terms of maintenance of a scooter, and also just straight up the enjoyment of riding your scooter and knowing that you're not wearing down a mechanical part. It's all regen, you're recharging your battery, you're not wearing out the brake pads, it's silent too, and it's also a lot smoother than a mechanical brake. So now that we talked about the scooter itself, what about what's around it? You know, to maintain the scooter, to fix it when it's getting either damaged or you break it. Well, let's start with a Segway. If the scooter breaks, you can try to contact Segway, good luck, or you can go to where you bought it in the store and get a refund or don't get anything, because nobody is able to fix scooters so far. It's very difficult. And bicycle shop, most of them don't want to take this risk upon themselves because they have insurance for bike, electric bike, but scooters is a complete different category. What about the Apollo Go? Well, you get the scooter. First of all, the unboxing is lovely. It's packaged in two beautiful foam that just look like a high-end product. I was gonna say Apple, but even Apple don't put foam like we do in their product. You unbox the scooter, you set it up, and as soon as you register it in the app, well, now everything is linked to your account, and when you're gonna need support, if you need to, it's gonna be a lot easier, and the process is gonna be a lot smoother. Let's say you have an issue with the scooter. You can call our customer service, you can go on the chat to talk to them, or you can request a video appointment to repair the scooter with us on the phone, and you can film what's happening. And on top of that, we have our own repair center, one in LA, one in New York, one in Montreal, and we have, I don't know how many that are affiliate to us to fix your scooter across the US and across Canada. And because we have great deals with our partners that are also selling our scooter, like Scooter Hut, our electric kicks, well, even in Australia, you have a ton of locations that are able to fix those scooters, and this is something you just don't get with Segway. Lastly, what about the warranty? On the Segway, you have the minimum legally required warranty. So in Quebec here, it means 30 days. After the 30 days, you can try to go back to the store that you purchased the scooter and maybe they're gonna exchange it. Or if it's a smaller shop, well, they might try to repair it if they have the tech there. And if not, well, they're gonna say, most of the time this is what happened, they're gonna say, well, write to Segway directly and good luck. What about the Apollo Go and all the rest of the Apollo lineup? Well, those scooters are guaranteed for 10,000 kilometers. Because again, we understand that this scooter is not just a last mile vehicle, they're becoming the vehicle and it needs a warranty that's going to act accordingly. So in conclusion, I think we can safely say that both scooters are very solid choice. On this one, you have something that is reliable, that has been proven on the market with the Max, and has a couple of new interesting features like that hydraulic dampening suspension. And on this one, well, it's the most value per dollar scooter on the market. The out-of-the-box experience is better, the warranty is better, you have two motors, the suspension is pretty equal to this one, it looks better, you have more visibility, it's safer, you have the quad lock phone holder built in for free, and you have the region brake, which is a game changer. So after all of that, I think we can safely say that Segway, no way, and it's a go for Apollo.